Are you good?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Three of the league's best teams were on a bye week, but week 7 was nothing short of amazing. Dak is back. Aaron Rodgers, he's lost 3 straight games for the first time since 2018, and those teams from New York just keep winning. Welcome everyone to the Breaking and Entering podcast. What's up, Ed? How you feeling? And how did you watch your games on Sunday?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. The Commanders won again. So I'm kind of happy. How about you, man? How are you?
I'm good. Victory Monday
Yeah.
or Tuesday, whenever you all guys watch this.
Yeah, it's rare for the Commanders to seem, but I'm gonna take them any chance we get. I'm gonna
I
take
know,
them.
right? Yeah, I'll take the win, whatever way we can get it as well. So
Yeah. All right, let's get started with this opening drive. Unfortunately, New York Jets running back Brees Hall, the rookie, tore his ACL, and they lost their offensive guard Elijah Vera Tucker with a tricep tear for the year. I think that's going to really affect them going forward. I don't know if you saw this or not, but the NFL is reviewing an incident where officials stopped Tampa Bay receiver Mike Evans in the hallway and asked him for an autograph. Did you see that?
no, I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, that
I have
was
to look that up.
kind of crazy. I didn't think it was a big deal, but then again, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Also, Matt Ryan has been benched for the rest of the season. Sam Ellinger will take over. Now he's dealing with a shoulder injury. I think they said he might have like a separation, but head coach also said that they were planning to bench him anyway after the game. So Sam Ellinger will be taking his place, and Nick Foles will be the backup going forward. Which is
Yes. Seventh different starting quarterbacks since 2018. I think I've touched on this early in the year as well as during the off season when we would talk as well, how the Colts, they just can't keep a quarterback there. They kind of remind me of, no offense, the Commanders back in the day, like when we were in high school,
back in the
and
day.
the Cleveland Browns. I mean, even more now. I mean, y'all have had a little bit more time. It's been about a maybe year and a half, 2 year per quarterback, but it's definitely reminds me of y'all and the Browns. I mean, this is crazy, man. For
Yeah.
a guy that they hire in Frank Reich that claim he's such an offensive guru or whatever, to have that many different starting quarterbacks, when I think, and you probably agree, one of their best ones was Jacoby Brissett. I believe there was no reason for them to move past him with
Yeah.
the time that they did. And I think, he would have done just enough to where until they could have drafted someone, and then they just decided to keep going through free agencies and trades, and it just hadn't worked out. So now they're stuck with that contract of Matt Ryan's,
Mm-hmm.
with him sitting on the bench holding the clipboard.
Yeah, they gambled with who was it, Philip Rivers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they made it to the playoffs, but
He
they
had a decent year. Yep.
yeah,
But then came
but
Carson Wentz
yeah,
and Matty Ice, and it just, yeah, hasn't worked out.
not at all. All right, let's get into these games. I'm gonna start with my game first. The Commanders beat the Packers 23-21. Taylor Heinicke came in and threw 2 touchdowns. The beginning of this game started out kind of rocky, but then the Commanders, they scored 20 unanswered points because they were down 14-3. Heinicke threw a pick 6, and I tweeted out from our B&E podcast Twitter page. I said, I don't know, folks, this might be a long game.
Yep.
But Commanders are Commanders. One day they look like world beaters. Then most of the other days they look like some damn clowns. And there was one play, Heinicke threw an amazing pass to Terry McLaurin, 37-yard touchdown, dropped it right in a bucket. It was beautiful.
Yep.
It was it was good to see them throwing the ball to McLaurin because they paid him all his money. In the last few weeks, his targets haven't been what I expect them to be for a guy you pay as your number 1 receiver. And he's got the talent to do it. Just you got to give him opportunities, no matter the coverage. I mean, sometimes you just got to throw it up there. And I think Heinicke playing last year helped a lot with their chemistry because it didn't seem like they were too off out there. Curtis Samuel, I think he made up a little bit for the drops he had in that Thursday night game. He caught a couple of nice balls and made some plays as well. But what really did the job was this Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson 1-2 punch.
Yep.
I think going forward, we got to lean on that heavy, man. Brian Robinson clearly looks like he can run through the tackles and get those tough 3-4 yards. And then maybe once in a while he'll break a run. And then Antonio Gibson, man, he comes in as well, changes the pace and catch it out the backfield. I was really happy to see those two playing well. And going forward, I hope they can continue to use that 1-2 punch. Brandon, did you see this game at all?
Yeah, I was flipping back and forth and definitely watching on the tickers. Man, I don't know if the Packers are just that damn bad this year or the Commanders, y'all finally turned the page. I mean,
Mm,
it was a close game last week y'all had against Chicago, and then, Green Bay got off to, they had some momentum with the pick six. And then, like you said, y'all just kicked in the high gear, started to run the ball. And then one thing I took for sure from this game, Scary Terry. I mean, you've been mentioning him all year. We know what he's
yeah.
capable of. He harassed Jair Alexander all game, and one of the best corners in the league, especially
Hmm.
on that touchdown catch you
Yeah.
mentioned. Jair was the one covering in those circumstances there. Yeah, you mentioned the running backs. That's another thing I was caught my eye. It's good to see Brian Robinson out there as a rookie. The
Yeah.
circumstances that he came back from,
Damn
uh,
shame.
doing his thing out there. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, 3-4, like you said, it's a win. They uh they tried the old that final play stuff at the end, and then Aaron
Oh my
Rodgers
God.
threw it out.
If you would have saw me, I was like, they gonna score. I was like
Yeah.
just waiting for some
Yep.
dumbness to happen.
Yep.
Also, I wanted to mention, I think this is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career that he's like under 500 under 7 games, which says a
Correct.
lot about how great he is. But yeah, him and Tom Brady, they're both 3-4, and both of their offense are looking really bad right now. They got some parallels going on.
Their offenses look very similar. They just cannot get it going. It's crazy. It's we haven't
Yeah.
seen this in a long time, to where both these guys, and it doesn't seem like there's nothing missing from either team as far as injuries go, that we could say that it's going to turn it around. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Unless they sign a free agent. I mean, none of these guys are, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure you're the same, are banged up to where somebody could come back and change it. But yeah, 3-4, they're in second place in the NFC North. Minnesota was on the bye week, so
Hmm.
yeah, they gotta get it figured out if you're Green Bay. Then they go to Buffalo next week, so good
Sunday
luck.
night. Yeah, they're gonna need it. And the Commanders, they'll be taking on the Colts and Sam Ellinger. So we'll
Oh
see how
yeah.
that goes. I just want to note that last, not the last drive, the second last drive where the Packers scored. We had 3 damn penalties where we
Ooh.
kept keeping the drive alive.
Yep.
Before that, that series, like Aaron Rodgers, like 0 for on third down,
Yep.
and I was just like, I was watching, I was like, God, another penalty.
Don't worry.
Okay,
Y'all
another
just
penalty. What
y'all
the
just took
hell?
a sorry, y'all took a page out of our book. We had a drive last week against the Giants. Well, they had a drive against us, and we had 3 penalties in that drive, and they scored for a touchdown. So y'all got lucky. Y'all got out of there with a win. We unfortunately gave up the win that week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel you on that penalty. That it's funny. It's 3 penalties. We definitely had the same amount in that drive.
I was
For
like, this
sure.
is. Mm.
That was first quarter, actually. Come think about it. Yeah. So
For y'all
speaking of,
game.
what's
Sorry,
that?
sorry. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You good?
Okay, sorry. Speaking of the Ravens, we have a slight cushion in the AFC North. We won 23-20 at the bank on Sunday. Man, watching my team is like watching my team is like reading a magazine. It's like People magazine. You go in the store every week. It looks the same on the cover, but everything, I mean, it looks the same, but it's it's the same damn story, man. We just give up these late game leads, and it's just frustrating. Cleveland, they came out with a clear objective. They wanted to give the ball to Nick Chubb and David Njoku early and often. Unfortunately, Njoku left early in the game with injury. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. Um, and then we gave up
He's
our
doing
first
good too.
first quarter touchdown of the year on Sunday. What's that?
I said Njoku was doing good too.
Yeah, yeah. They
Breakout
was.
season.
Yep. And we can't cover the tight end to save a lick, so he was already going to be set to have a big game against us. And then it seemed like our game plan was to run the ball as well. Our first 3 plays of the game were runs. Um, but Lamar's throw, he had a great 32-yard strike up the sideline to Devin Duvernay.
Yeah.
Kind of got us into field goal range because we couldn't go any further than that at that point. Second quarter, we looked our best. We had Duvernay. He had a punt return, big punt return. They were backed up, and He returned it 46 yards, set up the offense, and Gus the Bus, we pretty much ran him down the field,
Yeah.
and he got his first touchdown in probably a year and a couple months because he was out all of last year. So great to see him back on the field.
Yeah.
And I have a shout out to you because you mentioned like it might be good for us to trail. So we were trailing just a little bit in this game, and it kind of worked out in the end. But coming out of halftime, hoping that we get some momentum because we get the ball back first. LJ was sacked 2 out of the 3 first plays. That drive went nowhere. But then we got the ball back in no time thanks to a sack fumble. And then Gus the Bus, he powered it in for his second touchdown of the game. Heading into the fourth quarter, no Ravens fan in their right minds is thinking that we're going to have a shot at this point in the game, just based on the 3 losses this year. And then we've also given up leads and somehow coming out of it as well. But I remember they was coming out of commercial break and they was playing Taylor Swift's Trouble at the stadium. And I was like, yeah, we knew the Browns were trouble when they walked in. Cause like, I just had this feeling. I really did. I was like, man, we about to mess around and lose. Then we on a short week and it's a divisional opponent. They know us very well.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of trouble, Justice Hill, he fumbled on the ensuing drive. Of course, we had the fumble and interception last week in the fourth quarter. So it's starting to look like the same.
Yeah, I saw that the Browns defender punched it out his hand.
Yeah,
or punched it out. I was like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. And then they kept showing him on the sidelines. It's funny, like when the player fumbles, they continuously show him on the sidelines that whole drive when they heading downfield. But in the end, we got the win thanks to a suspicious Cleveland false start on that 56-yard field goal attempt. They said that the guy, it was suspicious. Now, if I was a Browns fan, I'd be pissed off because I really didn't think nobody moved. I think it was number 68, they said, and they were showing the right side of the line because our guy
y'all went crazy. Harbaugh, and it was like, it was him.
Yeah, I really don't think, like, when they showed the replay and even they talked to one of the rules analysts up in the booth or whatever, he was like, I don't think that was a false start because the guys, it was Calais Campbell and somebody else on that side that they claimed jumped. Calais jumped first. Definitely all the angles they kept showing, but we was pointing to them, and then of course we got the call. They said number 68, if I'm not mistaken. 68 was on the other side of the line, so I just don't understand. Then they also said it was something was linked to the long snapper too, which they said in a way that you put your head down and come back up. It's fine because they're looking for the signal from the holder or whatever, saying they're ready to go. But anyway, pushed it back 5 yards. Cade York goes for the field goal. It gets blocked by Malik Harrison, and we escape with another nail-biting win. I got to give my game ball to Gus the Bus Edwards. Again, first game back, missing all of last year. Powers into the end zone twice, and they said after the game he dedicated this game, his first game back, to Jalen Ferguson, the linebacker we lost in the offseason, apparently to suicide as well. But props to our defense. We've got 9 straight games now. We forced a turnover. It's the longest streak in the league. So in my Bill Belichick voice, we're on to Cincinnati. Actually, Tampa Bay, but that was his saying.
I got you. Yeah, man. I was kind of worried for you guys. I remember during the last couple plays of the game for the Browns, at least, Amari Cooper, he pushed off on Marcus Peters, but when I first saw it, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. It's looking bad. But then they threw that flag and you saw the replay.
I could tell when he slowed up. When Amari slowed up, it was like he knew he did something wrong. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Jacoby just threw that ball a little further, what would have happened? But ifs and the ifs, who cares? Y'all got the win. Y'all got after Jacoby Brissett. I think y'all sacked him 5 times. I know Calais Campbell and Justin Houston both got a sacking on him. I think Houston had 2 sacks on him. Yeah, man, I was thinking to myself too, like, uh-oh, are they about to blow another lead? And I was thinking, as you said, y'all should play from behind. But y'all pulled it out. Y'all defense made it stop. When that dude Cade York came out, I was like, because I think he kicked a 60-yarder early this year for somebody against somebody. So. I was like, dang, is this about to happen again? Are they going to tie the game going to overtime? And y'all pulled it out. So it was good to see y'all 4-3, moving on to the Buccaneers Thursday night. Rashad Bateman, I know he came back today. Was Deshaun Jackson out there at all? I didn't see
No,
all of the game.
no, he said that he would have been ready, but they didn't want to play him yet. I guess they want to like give him time to get the playbook down.
Okay. Yeah.
They
I'm
said he's
interested
healthy
to,
enough to play. Let's put it that way. He
yeah.
was on the sideline though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if how he looks out there, if he can catch those deep balls that Lamar throws, if he can run under those or not.
Yeah,
But yeah, man,
I wonder if they'll play him on Thursday night or give him a couple more extra days to learn the offense and everything. Because
better put that boy out there.
yeah, I mean, we obviously could use him, but it's like you don't want to run that risk of him. It's a very smart receiver, but we don't want to run the risk of him, running the wrong route or running the route yard short or something like that, leading to another interception, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sure. I definitely want to see him out there, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do that on Thursday night. Very short week for us. I don't like these primetime games, but it is what it is.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. So this Giants team, y'all, who would have thought they traveled to Duval and they won 23-17? Man, Saquon Barkley, man, this guy looking hella good. Another 100-yard game, and then Daniel Jones protecting the ball. Everybody's been critical of this guy for the most turnovers in the league since he came in back in 2018, I believe it was. Huge turnaround. He's even taken more of a leadership role. I don't know if you saw this. He fired into one of the receivers, Marcus Johnson, after a drop fourth down pass. That's something you don't normally see from him. He's a very quiet guy. So good to see that in those regards, especially when they're winning. You know what I'm saying? He's taking accountability and he's holding his receivers accountable for their mess ups. But the one thing the Giants have done well all of this year and has helped them win these games is taking control in the fourth quarter. The defense shut out the Jaguars in the in the final period, and they left there with a win, of course.
Yeah.
But as for the Jags, though, just short again. They came out with the 70-yard drive and took the momentum early in the game with the 2-point conversion. I remember flipping back and forth when I saw that they scored, and it kind of like seemed like it was taking a while. I don't know if they took a timeout or what, or maybe I was hallucinating, but I went back and they had went for 2, and I'm like, well, why are they going for 2 this early in the game? But I guess it was like a momentum thing. It's not like the Giants are like the high scoring team where you got to get points to keep up with them. But,
right.
I guess home field, they wanted to get the crowd riled up and all that stuff. So after that, they just continued to settle for field goals. And we all know it's not enough in this league. But looking forward, the future is bright for them. I mean, Travis Etienne, he had his first 100-yard game of his career on Sunday. And Christian Kirk, man, continues to put up numbers, man. He didn't have his best game on Sunday of the year, but it's still like he's making every dollar down there, and he's making them look like very smart for picking him up. Jags have lost. Go ahead.
Sorry. Did you see that the last play of the game for them?
Yeah, it came
Christian
right
Kirk,
down there to the 1-yard line. Yep. Yeah.
That was a great play by the Giants defense. I was like, oh my God, is he about to score? But they held him out.
It's funny you mentioned that because like that drive there, I remember watching a couple of the plays on that drive. It's like that's a typical Wink Martindale defense, that bend but don't break defense.
Yeah.
That's something we've been in Baltimore for years, and he hasn't been a defense coordinator all that time, but it's something that I guess he kind of carried over in the defensive style they play over there as well. But no fear, Jacksonville fans. Christmas is coming early next week. Y'all have the Broncos.
Damn. That's an international game too, ain't it?
Yes, it's in London, and that's something they're used to as well. As Jaguars, the players and the staff there is going over there to across the pond, and so I mean, again, no fear. You got the Broncos next week.
So you call that a win? You call that a win?
I think I'm gonna call it a win right now. What you got on this game?
I think Daniel Jones, aka Danny Dimes, is like the second leading rusher for quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken.
He's up there.
I saw that somewhere. But yeah, he rushed for 107 yards a day, and I think they're making an emphasis to get him out of the pocket and run, use their legs. This dude is athletic, man. I remember, was it last year he tripped over himself before he ran like 70, 80 yards? He tripped over himself.
Yep.
I think he kind of did that yesterday too. He made a defender miss. Maybe he got cut by a blade of grass or a shoestring or something, but it looked like he fumbled over his feet again. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, like you're saying, he's not committing any turnovers, being protected with the ball. Saquon is finally healthy. They did lose their rookie tackle Evan Neal. I don't know how long he'll be out, but I know they lost him early in the game. I wonder if that's going to affect them going forward or not, because I guess he did help them a lot with the running game and
Oh,
protected Daniel
the
Jones.
right tackle, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah,
rookie. Yeah.
Evan Neal.
Hmm.
But Giants are 6-1, man. What are they, second in the NFC East?
Yep.
NFC East, AFC East. A lot of these divisions that we talked about in our predictions are just flip flop a little bit. It's
Definitely.
crazy. It's a crazy season. I think this might be one of the most like unpredictable seasons to start and going forward. I'm really curious to see how it's going to end. But yeah, Giants they seem like a complete team. It's not like one side of the ball's got to protect the other side of the ball. You know, Giants, they'll move the ball downfield. If they don't score a touchdown, they'll get a field goal. Then that defense, they're not gonna let you just run it on them or throw it on them like that. They're gonna go out there and play Giants football. They are 6-1. Wow. I'm not gonna say they're the weakest 6-1 team either, because they tell me, they just prove to me, you know, just shut the hell up and watch. We're gonna keep doing what we do. So salute to the Giants. Let's move over to the west side. The Seahawks beat the Chargers to prove to 4-3. The Seahawks are the number one team in the NFC West.
Hmm.
Did you see that coming at all?
Hell no. Remember we was talking about a couple weeks? No, we thought the Seahawks, both of us thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, if not the
Man,
worst. And those quarterbacks, we thought neither one of them could help them win. No,
this is congrats to the Seahawks. Pete
definitely.
Carroll. I know they happy moving on for Russell Wilson. Everybody probably forgot about them. They probably say who if you mention his name.
Yeah.
Um, their rookie running back had a coming out party. Kenneth Walker had over
Yep.
160 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And Marquise Goodwin stepped up. He caught 2 touchdown passes after DJ Metcalf went down with a knee injury. Now they're saying he shouldn't need surgery, but so it's not a super serious injury, but we don't know how long he'll be out, because I think he did get carted off the field as well. So we'll see what's going on. But this Seahawks team, they kind of complete as well. I mentioned last week their rookie cornerback Tariq Woolen had like 4 straight games of interception. That streak broke today. Somebody else got an interception though, Ryan Neal, and I think that was a timely interception. At points during the game, because I was watching this game, I had that game on the main TV, and then I was watching Sunday Ticket to check out those 3 other games: the Chiefs, Niners, Jets, Broncos,
Okay.
and that other game that was on. And I just thought, okay, eventually the Chargers are gonna wake up and come back, but it never happened. The Carroll's got these guys out there playing good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll end up like winning the division, but they're definitely a team that's like they're gonna play you, and you gotta expect a game for them,
Oh yeah.
because if you don't, they're gonna beat you. Did you see this game at all, man?
I did not. Just the highlights of it, and it's like every time I think the Chargers are going to win, I get disappointed. It's crazy. Um, Definitely thought that they could easily win by feeding Austin Eckler. He
Yeah,
did get involved, but and I was hoping their defensive playmakers would step up. But in the end, like you said, that Chargers defense had no answers for Kenneth Walker and Marquise Goodwin. Both guys got into the end zone twice, so that's what 28 points right there, plus the PATs or whatever. I mean, I remember watching the final play of the game. Goodwin even had that cartwheel backflip on the final kneel down. So they just seem like they're having fun out there. And
yeah,
it kind of reminds you of the old Pete Carroll when he used to run up and down the sidelines and excitement when they score and all that stuff. It seems like they're finding ways to win out there. And Geno
yeah,
Smith, I mentioned him earlier when we just started talking about this game, quietly playing good ball, 20 for
yeah,
27, efficient, 210 yards, not a lot of yards, but 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but hey, he got the win. They got 4 games in the lead of that division, like you said.
total shock.
Congratulations, man. I mean, we gotta give props where props is due right now,
Yeah,
because heading almost into the halfway point, pretty much there. If the season ended today, that's always a line you hear around the NFL. If the season ended today, they're in the playoffs.
yeah. Who would have thought that?
Hell yeah.
That was crazy. All right, we're gonna keep it on the west side. Kansas City Chiefs beat the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes threw for over 400 yards. They beat the 49ers 44-23. He got some other receivers involved today. Juju Smith-Schuster, he had 7 receptions on 124 yards. And Marquez Scantling, he had over 100 yards receiving as well. Is this like the coming up party for the Chiefs? Is that offense finally in sync now? Because in the beginning of the season, we were wondering who's going to replace Tyreek Hill, what's going to happen, how are they going to fill that void. I forgot to mention McCole Hardman. He didn't have like a game as far as like, oh, he had a bunch of stats as catches and yards, but he had 2 touchdowns in the air, and he also had a touchdown, I think it was on like a reverse or something. So he had a great day, 3 touchdowns. Did you see this game at all, man?
Yes, I did. This was one of the games I was watching on the very closely on that late game docket. Kansas City, what can you say about them? Only Kansas City would shred apart the league's #1 defense. I mean, San Fran, they looked good early on in the game. They tried to debut their new shiny toy that everybody was talking about heading into this game, Christian McCaffrey. They acquired in trade just a few days before game day. And I remember they saying Shanahan had a few plays dedicated to him. But speaking of new additions, like you said, MVS and Smith-Schuster both had over 100 yards. And then Kelsey, it's going to be a long day when, damn near 3 receivers reach 100 yards for Kansas City.
Yeah.
We've seen that before, and it was there again. But it wasn't just on offense, y'all. Defensively, 5 sacks from this Kansas City defense, which on paper wasn't as good as San Fran's, but they definitely outplayed them. It was led by Chris Jones, Mr. One-Man Wrecking Crew. I've always been watching him, especially since they moved him back on the inside last year, and then Frank Clark as well. These guys, I mean, they just know how to rack up wins. Great way to recover from that disappointing home loss, by the way, against Buffalo last week. So they got a bye week. I remember the reporters was talking to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and somebody else after the game. And they was like, how do you feel about this? How are you going to celebrate National Tight Ends Day? And Patrick Mahomes like, we got a whole week to celebrate this, or a whole 2 weeks, basically. So, yeah. He said that on TV, but I'm pretty sure they probably celebrated last night and they right back to business today, despite being off on the bye week, because those guys just are fundamentally good in all aspects of the game. Kansas City looks damn good, and they look just like they typically do. What else more is there to say? For sure.
Speaking of National Tight End Day, I'm looking at these stats right now. Other than the touchdown that Kittle caught, George Kittle and Travis Kelce, they both had 6 receptions for 98 yards. That's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Just looking at
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. Going forward, I think this is Kittle's, even though he didn't play a lot, this is Kittle's best game, I think.
Yeah.
I think going forward, that's a good sign for them. I guess they got C-Mac, so I give it a couple more weeks. I think this offense will start hitting the ground running, and San Fran will be making some noise in that NFC West.
For sure. All right. Looking at some of actually, we're going to go to Raiders and Texans. My bad. Let me get there. All right. Yeah. I said, heading into our preview show, I said this game, something's got to give. And the Raiders, they took it to the Texans in their house, 38-20. Josh Jacobs, he showed up, put up some awesome numbers.
You can call it for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Raiders took control of the game pretty much from start to finish. Houston team, if I was a Houston fan, I'd be confident, despite this outing, they've been a lot more competitive than they have been in the previous years, especially without Deshaun Watson there. I really like Davis Mills. Didn't have a bad game, but his defense didn't really help him out. I mean, they had absolutely no answer for those guys on the Raiders offense.
Yeah.
Both teams were coming off a bye, but clearly the Raiders made the most adjustments. And that kind of makes sense because Josh McDaniels comes from the New England Patriot way, and they're really good at making adjustments. So, yeah, shout out to the Raiders for finally getting off to a faster start. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the score, you would think it was a blowout, but the Texans actually, it was a back and forth game. The Texans were They were like one team would score a touchdown, go up, the other team would score a touchdown, go up. Then the floodgates opened in the fourth quarter for the Raiders. They scored 21 points. But like you said, Josh Jacobs, man, what do you have? Like 20 rushes, 143 yards,
Yep.
and 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Yep.
He's making a case for himself as a top 3 running back in the league right now. If you look at his last few games, he's been putting up some numbers. They got Hunter Renfrow back. We're still waiting to see Darren Waller if he can get back from that hamstring injury. But Devontae Adams, he had a solid game, 8 receptions, 95 yards. And then the defense, they did their thing as well. After that fourth quarter, Texans didn't score again. So they're 2-4. Do I think they'll have enough to come back and make some noise in this division? I do, because
wow.
Besides the Chiefs, I don't really trust the Chargers right now, man.
Good points.
We were talking a little bit last year. It was like I don't trust Justin Herbert, and I was like, "What? You tripping? That man is good."
Yeah.
And as I'm watching him more, I see where you're coming from, because you think, okay, he's got it all figured out. He's got all these weapons. He's got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, the coach Brandon Staley.
Yep.
You think they could all put it together, but it's just not happening. So I'm going to give the Raiders a chance to make some noise and come back. I think they might go on a winning streak. I got to see who they play in these next couple of weeks. But I think they could go on a winning streak and come back in this division. So who they got next? They got the Saints, then the Jaguars, and the Colts, and the Broncos.
Ooh, they might be okay.
They might be 6-4.
Yeah.
They might be. And then they got the Seahawks after that. That might be close one. I don't know. Yeah. But they could potentially win 4 in a row. Definitely. I don't know. 5 in a row. We'll see.
I have no disagreement with that for sure. I would not be surprised.
All right, let's get to these other scores in the league. Titans beat the Colts 19-10. We talked about it earlier. Matt Ryan got benched. He threw a couple of picks in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Might have had a pick 6 too, I think. This game right here, the Panthers whooped the Bucks 21-3.
Crazy.
I don't know if they're going to ring the alarm bells yet in Tampa Bay, because they are still number 1 in the division, even though 3-4 is just, that might be the weakest division in football. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be right now anyway. The Cowboys beat the Lions 24-6. Dak Prescott came back. He didn't have like a great game, but they did enough to win. Zeke Elliott had 2 touchdowns. Jets beat the Broncos 16-9. Russell Wilson was out with a hamstring injury, and Mark Rypien came in. This is the game Breece Hall tore his ACL, and they lost their offensive guard.
Tragic.
As well. So I don't know. I think the Jets might be on a slide here. We'll see. I don't know if they can depend on Zach Wilson, because once again, he didn't really do much. He's looking like a game manager. Elijah Moore was out. They sat him out. He requested a trade. Salah said, no, he's just going to sit down, and he'll just sit out this week to see how it feels. Dolphins beat the Steelers in the Sunday Night Football 16-10. And, of course, that Thursday night game, Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34. Well, did you watch, or did you have an eye on any of these games?
Yeah, I think we forgot to put in there the Falcons and the Bengals. The Bengals.
How the hell I forget that? Yeah,
no worries, because that was one of the games I was watching heading into week 7 for sure. Bengals put it on the Falcons when the Falcons came off of a big win last week. That was definitely a game I was watching.
Yeah,
and then a Sunday Night Football game. I did pick the Dolphins, but early on into that game, it kind of got me nervous. I kind of thought the Steelers were going to upset them and mess up my pick for that night.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett showed some flashes. Then he showed himself as a rookie as well. Times.
Yep. So, yeah.
I got I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah, we got to talk about this Bengals game a little bit. This dude Burrow had like a little over 500 yards, right? Yeah, 480 yards, passing, but he had like 500 total yards himself, including his rushing. He had a couple of nice runs as well.
And a touchdown on the ground too, yeah.
Yeah. When y'all play them again? Because that offense, I think they hitting their stride right now. Jamar Chase, he looking crazy. Tyler Boyd, he had over 100 yards. I think they both had 8 receptions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Bengals, have they found a groove?
I think I'm not too sure they ever lost it, but it was the Falcons defense. Okay. It was the Falcons defense. I will say that. But I will say this. I don't think they ever lost. I think they were struggling. You know, that offensive line still had some issues. So he was having some
Mhm,
problems staying upright. He still was sacked 3 times on Sunday. So
mhm.
yeah, they're definitely right on our heels in the AFC North. And if we hiccup on Thursday night, they'll be in first place, or definitely in
Look,
first place with a win.
I got a bone to pick with these damn Falcons, man. They was down 35-17. I was like, okay, perfect. They gonna throw the ball every down play. Kyle Pitts, you about to eat. You look at Mariota's numbers. This dude threw the ball 13 times. How the hell what are they doing, man? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yes,
this is all I'm saying is all because of fantasy purposes and Kyle Pitts. I picked this dude second round as my tight end, and this has been a complete bust. I'm just so upset right now with this production. How did 35-17 to that wasn't the final score, was it? Was it
yeah, it was.
35-17?
Yep.
But that was it wasn't that they had like 21. They put up some numbers in the first half
Yeah.
and they was up big. I was like, okay, Falcons, y'all gonna have to throw the ball now. Nope. Hey, Mariota, you just throw the ball 13 times and we'll figure it out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got Hayden Hurst as another tight end, so I'm good at that point at least. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with this. It's
Don't
crazy.
cut them, because as soon as you cut them,
I can't cut him. No, I
they
can't
start
cut him.
they
Yeah,
start doing good.
I'm
They
gonna
used to
go
drive
down
me
with the Kyle
crazy.
Pitts ship. I can't cut him. I'm just really look.
Yeah. So yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah, I don't think they ever lost their groove. So to answer your question, what about you? Which of these games caught your eye?
Uh, Definitely the Panthers Bucks game. I
Yeah.
think if I'm the Panthers, I would let PJ Walker play some more games. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put Baker Mayfield back in the
And
game.
I thought that last year too with fucking Sam Darnold. I wouldn't. Sorry,
You good? You good?
man. That was between him and Baker. That was just just dumb decisions from management there to sign those guys. That is dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but yeah, I think they should keep rolling with PJ Walker.
Definitely.
I was looking at the Sunday night game as well just to see how Tua looked out there, and he was scrambling. He was going head first with the ball. I don't
Yeah.
think he's worried about that concussion. No, that's all passing. The dude's a football player. So I was happy to see him out there getting back in the groove. What other game that I look at? I watched a little bit of the Titans Colts game. I can't. Did I? I think I picked the Titans last week, but I was like, I don't know. We'll see how Matt Ryan does. But I want to say I picked the Titans, and I'm pretty sure they are first in their division as well now too. So yeah, those are the games I was looking at.
Just a side note with that whole Tua situation, it's like the media kind of blew it up for the right reasons in some terms,
Yeah,
but I think after all the drama after the second incident, I don't think that they would have put him back out there this time with him not being 100%
yeah,
between obviously the second incident, as I said, the firing of the neurosurgeon or whatever it was
yeah.
that,
The independent neurologist.
yeah, neurologist. I think after all that, I don't think that the Dolphins brass would put him at risk again. So,
Yeah,
you know, you had very good points that he was running around, but it seemed like everybody heading into that game was like, oh God, he's coming back out there. What do we expect from him? This and that.
yeah. You're right. I seen
Again,
that as well.
some reasons were for right. Obviously, I've never had a head injury, so I can't relate. It is potentially, life changing, obviously, but again, I just don't think that they would put him back out there if he wasn't 100% on a
Mhm.
third time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just a
And
side
going
note.
forward, I think because the NFL made some rule changes because Amon-Ra St. Brown, he came out the game through the concussion systems and he passed all the texts, checked every box, but he was out. They was like, due to these new rules, he's out. I guess they saw a video how he was looking,
Yeah,
and
what they had
along with that test, they was like, nah, you can't go back in there. So I think going forward, stuff like the Tua situation won't happen as much. I don't think.
correct.
We'll see going to the playoffs. We'll see like some quarterback big takes a hit. We'll see if how that works.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if it's addressed again in the offseason because it was a couple years ago they had a bunch of concussions, and that was a big emphasis during the offseason as well.
Yeah.
So for sure. Turning the page though, we got some player awards to give out. Everyone, my offensive ace of the week, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker the third, if I'm not mistaken. I want to get his
Yeah.
name right. 23 carries for $168 and 2 touchdowns there in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium on Sunday. How about you?
I was gonna go with Josh Jacobs, but I just can't ignore the game Joey B had Joe
Yeah,
Burrow over 500 yards total. I got to give that to him, Joe Burrow, Offensive Player of the Week for me.
we definitely had a lot of offense on Sunday. You can go with
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes as well, man. It was so
Yep.
many guys. Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna turn the page to the defensive side of the ball. I'm gonna go with Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen.
Hmm.
He's my guy. I've been very critical of him, so this is a redeemed himself moment for him. 11 tackles, 7 of those were on his own. He had a sack, 3 tackles for a loss. After I gave him praise, I got to give him some criticism. He still can't cover tight end, but he could play the run. Who's your defensive player of the week?
This was a little tricky for me. I was gonna give a shout out. I am gonna give a shout out to Justin Houston. He had like 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. But I think I'm gonna give it to Michael Parsons because he made. I don't know if you saw this play. They were talking about it a little on the sports show today. He made a play to save a touchdown that could have changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. This dude looked like a freak of nature. He got shot out of a cannon and ran down the tight end and stopped him right before the goal line. This dude is a freak of nature, man. I wish he was in the damn AFC East instead of NFC East, man. He's gonna kick ass for years if he can stay healthy. This dude is a freak, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to Michael Parsons, man. Jesus Christ, that dude's nasty.
All right, showing some love to the special teams. My special team of the week, I'm gonna stay at home in Baltimore with Justin Tucker. He had 3 field goals, including a 55-yarder, Mr. Automatic. How about you?
This is a little left field.
Oh,
I'm gonna no. I'm gonna give it to the Buccaneers punter.
oh God.
They ain't do shit. The offense couldn't do shit but punt the damn ball. He had 6 punts, and they must have been good punts because I'm looking at the Panthers receiving or kick returners. The dude only had a 1 punt return, and he ain't had no yards from it. So, that punter for the Buccaneers, every punt must have been out of bounds. I think he had 2 inside the 20s as well. So what's my boy name? What's this guy named? Jake Camarda. Salute to you, fam. You got my special teams player of the week.
You dug deep on that one.
Man, I was looking because they was talking about the I think I retweeted it at one point. There was like what did they say? The last few drives for the Buccaneers is like punt, turnover and downs, punt. Yeah, here we go. The Bucs drives today: punt, in the half, punt, turnover downs, punt, field goal. I mean, yeah, Kamada had a game, boy. He's like, wild. Mom, you see me on TV? I was out there a lot today.
It's funny because I was watching, I can't remember what game it was within the last week, and they showed a sideline shot of the punter. I was like, man, it must be nice to be a punter. You know what I'm saying? You getting at least a couple $1 million, and you just walk around the sideline. The only time you got to put your helmet on is for a field goal attempt if you the holder, and to go out there to punt the damn ball. And if you got yourself a good offense like Kansas City, Buffalo, somebody like that, you ain't never got to go out there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, shout out to the punters. That's why we do special team of the week, everyone. All right. So my bonehead call of the week. This might sound familiar to you. Matt LaFleur, he wasted his second challenge of the game with like 8 minutes left in the second quarter. That challenge he did, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was Brian Robinson down in the
it was him.
Down in their territory. He thought it was a fumble, but clearly it wasn't. Obviously they're in the heat of the game, so they don't see it as fast, but that's what he has assistant coaches for.
Yeah.
Somebody must have gave him the word, or he had the inkling that he thought it was a fumble, but it clearly wasn't. I didn't see the entire game, but either way, it left him with no opportunities, obviously, to challenge for the remainder of the game. I'm not sure if that came back to bite him in any way in the second half, but it's never good to go into the second half without any challenges for sure. That's my bonehead call of the week that left me scratching my head. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the same call, but instead of giving it to LaFleur, I'm gonna give it to the refs because the damn review took about 5 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you? What's taking it so long? The
Yeah.
guy clearly fumbled the ball and he recovered it and he was down. Why is it taking 5 minutes to figure this out, guys? Come on. So my bonehead call goes to the refs for taking 5 damn minutes. I think they had like a commercial break. They was talking about it, and they had another commercial break. And it was like, okay, we finally realized this ain't a damn fumble, or he recovered the fumble. Washington ball, like, golly, them refs that game. Ugh.
Yeah, I remember flipping back and forth as well during that time because my game was on obviously at the same time. I was like, oh, what the hell's taking so damn long?
Yeah, you go look at another game, you come back.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a fumble yet. We still got to talk about it. Like, come on, y'all.
All right, everyone. So tonight's showcase of Monday Night Football will feature the Bears and the Patriots in Foxborough. Looking online at ESPN, they got an 82% chance of winning. That is the Patriots. They're at Gillette Stadium. I'm going to agree with ESPN.
Yeah.
I got the Patriots. They've won 2 straight games, if I'm not mistaken. The Bears just can't get anything going offensively, at least in the passing game for sure. You know how Belichick is against young quarterbacks. He's even better against rookies. Obviously, Justin Fields is in his second year, but some people could argue and say it's playing like he's still a rookie. So what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. Even if they play Bailey Zapp, I think the
True.
Patriots are going to win the game. I think it's going to be an ugly game, though. I don't know if both teams will put up a lot of points. Maybe some defensive turnovers will happen. They'll get them in advantage field goal or field position. But I'm going to go with the Patriots as well. I was hating on Justin Fields a little bit because the last game, I didn't think he played too well. I do want to say, like, his receivers didn't help him out a lot. He almost won the game that Thursday night game against the Commanders when Darnell Mooney couldn't come down with the ball in the end zone. And then his tight end, he threw him a pass. He kind of overthrew him, but then you look at the tight end running, it's like he had sand in his shoes or had like cement in his feet or something. And he was just running so damn slow to catch a ball. So I'm gonna give 50% of the blame to Justin Fields last game and 50% on his team not stepping up for him. Okay. But I don't know. He might have one of that. What was it, a few years ago when Darnold was a rookie? He played against the Patriots. He was like, "Yeah, I see ghosts out there."
Oh man, I never forget that game.
I think Fields might have a game like that, but we'll see. He is more athletic and make some plays with his feet. I think, he might have to have a game where he rushes for like 100 yards if they have a chance to win. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots in this one as well.
Damn, the Sam Darnold seeing ghost reference. That's a good one.
Yeah, he at this point he is a ghost.
Yeah.
Would he have like an ankle injury or something? I doubt
they said he came back to practice last week or something. I heard something on ESPN or something. But like you said, PJ Walker should be the guy out there. They should have been the guy last year, halfway through.
Cam Newton available, anyone? Shoot, something.
Indeed he is. He was at Howard's homecoming, if I'm not mistaken, on over the weekend.
Okay.
They showed him out there taking pictures of everybody.
Gotcha. Well, that's it, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast. I'm Ed. Brandon. Oh shit, sorry. Let me do that part again.
Good. My bad.
All right. Huh?
I said my bad.
No, you good. You good, my bad. All right, everyone. That's another episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast. I'm Ed.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll see you next time. Peace. Sorry about that.